Puff, puff. About to get back to Greece. I was able to get back to Greece thanks to the guilty. I'm back. With a sense of great relief, I fell to the ground. You should be fine here. Guilty released a deep sigh and then looked at me. Where did you put the bracelet? It got caught in the clothes of the person who bumped into me and ripped off. So they used a human to break it, despite lesser demons. They were smart. I should have given you a new one. It's okay. You don't have to make that kind of face. You'll be forgetting everything about me soon enough. What? I went to the underworld in search of a way to erase your memory so that you'd be able to live as a human. Guilty looks at me with a snare. I am a demon. I wasn't supposed to appear before you. It's all just an accident. It was something I never intended. That's why I have to clear your memories of our time spent together. I'm a demon. You're a human. Yep, I'm a bad demon. The words of someone similar came rushing back. Who was that? I don't want you around me anymore. He said that in a way clearly meant to hurt me, and almost to hurt himself. He laughed just like before. Alan, the more you talk, the more she remembers. We should probably stop. A demon is an evil being that feeds off of humans. Even the gods underestimate us at the peril. I definitely heard him use that tone of voice before. He was being harsh to try and warn me in his own way. Because he's a kind person, I've always known that. In that same time, it wasn't Guilty's voice. That's not the voice Sarah was remembering. I know. I was with him when he wasn't what he is now. What I remember is I remember now. His name isn't Guilty. His real name is Alan. Oh, her bow is back. Oh shit. When I called his name, he was aghast. He took a few steps back, his expression registering nothing but despair. No, you remembered. Yes, I remember now. Your name is Alan, and you are an incubus. And also the fact that I am Cupid. I remember everything now. Oh no, I reached for my neck, confirming that the Cupid bow necklace was back. This flickering pendant was the divine artifact of a god bearing golden and laden arrows. The reason it was on stable was probably because I was half human. But now that my memories have returned, I'm no longer a regular human. Alan, did you turn me into a human? He had a sad, pained look in his eyes. It spurred memories of his words on the day he stuck the knife in me. If you continue as Cupid, your soul will eventually disappear, which is why he said there was no other choice. Alan used a demonic artifact to extract my soul, then I became human. I was living an oblivious human life, never knowing that I used to be a goddess until I became a college student. Maybe Alan did all of this as a way to prolong my life. Alan, all this time you were doing everything to protect me, to keep me from disappearing. Ever since I became human, I always had good luck. Like falling over before getting into an accident, or somehow surviving a drowning incident. Yeah, that was all him. But it's true that demons are common, and for demons, a god's soul is the most delicious treat. That is what Alan told me. You've always been protecting me because demons are attracted to my soul, right? Ever since I started working at Cupid Corp 20 years ago, before I reincarnated. What a convenient interpretation. Why would a god ever believe anything a demon says? Ellen tried to sound annoyed, but it was easy to see that it was just an act. It was obvious he was in pain. He was always a terrible liar. I could always see right through him, and it was clear that hadn't changed. I was using you. I wanted your Cupid's bow all to myself. That's all. Then you should have taken it from me. A demon can't lay a finger on it. That's why I sealed it away, to lead the human world into chaos. He was working so hard to come up with any excuse he could. I mean, he's not entirely lying. He did want the Cupid's bow. He was always struggling so hard to hide his true feelings. I'm a greater demon. I just wanted to cause havoc in the human world and show the gods what I'm capable of. And you think I did it so you wouldn't disappear? Are you really
バカ
stupid?
じゃな
What
いの
kind
か
of
よ
foolish Cupid
君は
would.
特別
His smirk suddenly vanished and he looked like he was about to cry. You really are stubborn, aren't you? Even when lying to hurt me would help in the long run, you just can't do it. If you really were a terrible demon that could only sin, you'd be a lot better at deceiving people. You don't have to act like you're evil, just be your kind self and fool me properly. But you can't because you really are a kind person. Hmm. Alan, you're such a terrible liar. It's okay. You don't have to keep on trying.
何を
What are you? No matter what you say, you can't hurt me because I know just how much you care about me. I know how kind you are, and I know your lies are only meant to protect me. After all, we lived together for 30 days, and you protected me while you were guilty too. You can't fake that type of kindness. When I smiled at last, his false toughness fell apart.
なんて
Why? Why do you have to say that? Alan was almost muttering to himself. I couldn't protect. I could practically see the tears welling up in his eyes.
思い出して
I
ほしく
didn't
な
want you
か
to
った
remember anything. I just wanted you to be human. Why
なんで
couldn't you let me
騙さ
fool
れてくれ
you?
ないんだ
Why couldn't I lie to you?
たくさんの人間を
I
騙
fooled
して
so
きた
many humans before you. I just had to do the same thing I always did. He covered his face and balled his hands into a fist. I'm such
俺
a
は
fool. I
バカ
keep
なんだ
reaching out to you even though I know it was the worst
い
thing
つ
I
だ
could
君
do.
が会いた
But
いっ
when you
て言
told
っ
me you
た
wanted
ら
to see me, I was powerless to
合
resist.
わせ君が海を見
When
た
you
いと
wanted to
言っ
go
た
to
ら
the beach, I had to take
連
you.
れて
The
行かず
only
に
thing
は
that
いら
makes
れ
me
ない
happy is to make you happy.
でもそれが
But I
君
knew
の
it would
魂を呼び
only
覚ますだ
awaken
ろうっ
your
て
soul. Now his fist was starting to shake. He wanted me he wanted me to feel every fiber of his being. And at the same time he bitterly regretted those feelings. But I've missed you so much. I don't want to ever forget you.
それでも
I just wanted you to live happily as a human. Alan shook his head weakly. His voice was shaky. A single tear trickled down his
言っ
cheek.
ただろ
I told you, you're going to disappear. Every
君
single
は
god who decides to die
この
constants
ま
are
まじゃ
nothing
消
more
滅
than
する
disposable pawns. Disposable? That's right.
何度も
There
君た
have
ち
been
キューピッド
countless
は
Cupids over the generations.
俺は
I know who the Cupid before you
君
was.
の
I
先
saw them
代
with
の
my
キ
own
ューピッ
two
ド
eyes. The Cupid before me?
キューピッドが入れ
The
替わっ
book of
ていくと
Vanquishing
俺は
taught
知っ
me
て
that Cupids are replaced once a
それから
generation.
新
The other
薬転
gods are
覆の
just
書を
as
読んで
disposable.
キューピッドだけじゃな
Nick,
い
Muse,
ナ
anyone
イキ
other
も
than the
ミューズ
revered
も
guy constants are
十二
used
神
up
以
and
外の
tossed
神は
out. You're
消
nothing
滅
more
すれ
than
ば
a tool. I wanted to believe it wasn't true, but at the same time, I couldn't really deny it. There were plenty of stories about Cupid that didn't seem like me. The one between Cupid and Psyche seemed oddly specific. I always thought that was kind of strange.
だから
That's why I was
君の
searching for a
心が
way
宿っ
to
た
separate
魂
your
と
soul from your
神である
consciousness
キ
of
ューピッドの
Cupid.
そうすれば
That way you could
君は
become a
完
full
全な人
human
間に
and
なり
demons would stop
悪魔に狙
coming
われな
after
くなるか
you.
ら
You wouldn't have to go back to
神でもな
Celestia either. But I couldn't
で
find a
も
solution. Your divine soul was so
見つ
powerful,
から
it
なかった
bonded incredibly closely to your consciousness.
キューピッドの君は
Cupid was your entire
君
existence.
そのものだった
Separation simply wasn't an option. Well, after all, that was my job as Cupid.
でも
But you weren't like that at
最
the
初から
beginning.
そうだったわ
That's
けじ
why
ゃ
I
ない
wanted to try and change you
だから
back. Alan cried out, but he suddenly snapped his mouth shut. Alan, there's something I've been wanting to ask you ever since you stabbed me. I wanted to get closer to his heart, so I took a step forward. But then he took another step back. But why? Alan, why do you help me? Have we met each other before? Who were we? Alan just smiled with a sadness on his face. He stood there with those kind eyes keeping that small distance between us. I recognized his expression of self-loathing. His smile was nothing but bravado.
君が知
You
る
don't need
必
to
要は
know.
な
In
いよ
fact, it's better you don't remember. I'm too filthy at this point.
たとえかつて会っ
Even
てい
if
た
we
とし
had
て
met
も
each other, that person no longer exists.
ここにいるのは汚れ
What
たイン
remains
キュバ
now is
ス
a tainted incubus, a demon that feeds
人
on the
間の
dreams of
夢を
humans.
食らうだから
So please, just forget about everything. He said that with an imploring voice. I couldn't remember anything, but I could still feel his anguished emotions. We had met each other before. Back then, maybe he and I cared for each other deeply, or dearly. That's why he's trying to keep me from disappearing as Cupid. He became a greater demon and doesn't want me to know, despite the fact that he's been protecting me for ages.
おいで
Come with me, Katie. With a look of determination, Alan called my name. His tone was soft and sweet, exactly the kind of voice a demon would use to seduce a human. But his face was completely sincere. There's no point in him acting like a demon anyway. I already know just how kind he really is.
三度目の正
This will
直
be
だ。
my third attempt. I swear I'll turn you into a human. He says that, but he still looks like he's about to cry. A kind, stubborn person that couldn't fully become a demon. I don't want him to suffer trying to protect me. If I had to live without my memories of him, I'd rather just disappear, because if I forget him, he'll be in pain till the day he dies. I opened my arms wide and embraced him. Alan, it's okay. What are you saying? I don't want to live without ever having known you, so it's okay now. I've lived long enough. After all, I spent several hundred years as Cupid. I was a, it was a fulfilling life. So please, just forget about me. Think of yourself and try to find happiness.
なん
No,
て
why are you? I
ダメ
can't, not
だ。
without you. Tears were streaming down Alan's cheeks. I hugged him as hard as I could, as if I might break him in half. No, I don't want you to disappear. I want
君
you
を
to
消
live.
滅させたくない。
Please,
生きていてほしいんだ。
Alan. I held him close and listened to the beat of his heart. It felt like a memory from long ago. Hey, are you really Alan? Where were we? I loved your smile so much I always tried to make you laugh. We chased each other through the grass and played hide and seek. We even had a pretend wedding. We held each other just like this and laughed until we couldn't breathe. Just a little more. Just a bit more. I was able to remember. Oh snap. Oh snap, crackle pop Rice Krispies. There was a sudden flash of an ear-splitting crash of thunder. Both of us were knocked to the ground. I tried to roll onto my back. Why would a bolt of lightning strike here out of nowhere? No, no, just no bolt of thunder. It was. It has to be Jupiter.
キューピッド
I've been looking for you, Cupid. Lord Jupiter, what are you?
20年
Your
近くも
divine
の
artifact
間
stopped responding
シング
approximately
の
20
反
years
応
ago.
が
I've
消え
been
ずっ
searching
と
for you
探
ever
してい
since.
たキューピッド
Okay,
共に
but
深海
like,
へ帰ろ
can we just appreciate this for a moment? I know, like, she almost had her memories back, but like, he's so freaking cute in this get up. Okay, anyways, moving on. It's time to return home to Celestia. With a surprising kind voice, he reached out to me. Suddenly, a single large wing blocked his way.
う。連れて行かせない。どうせあんたたちはこ
Oh
の
my
子が
gosh,
消
I
滅するまで
can't
使うんだろう。
even. I will not let you take her. You're just going to use her until she finally
お
disappears.
前は
An
インキュバ
incubus,
スか。
surely you realize there is no
神
forgiveness to
に
be
手
had
を
for
出し
open
て
rebellion
許
against
さ
the
れると
gods.
思っているのか。許しなんて
I'm
俺は
not looking
望ん
for
でいない。
forgiveness. Punish me all you want, but I
罰を
won't let
下
her
したければ
go. Alan stood between us, protecting me and openly defying Lord Jupiter. But now he's in trouble all over again. Lord Jupiter is the almighty god of all gods. He stands above all gods, other gods, with absolute power. He controls the human realm and basically everything else. Not even the rest of the Diconsons could defeat him in open combat. Ah, I know, my Cupid
キュ
bow.
ーピッド
No, Cupid, you
それ
must
を
not
使っ
use
て
that. Even as I heard him call my name, he already had hit my hands held with his own. Huh? There wasn't even a moment to blink. It was like a total silent lightning strike, which would make sense, all things considered. A second ago, Alan was protecting me, and now Lord Jupiter held me in his grasp. I couldn't move. I was fully and completely his captive. Lord Jupiter rarely raised his voice in anger, but his strength was so great there was no way I could make him release me.
いつ
What?
の
How
間に
did you?
これで分かっただろ
How
う。
do you? Now do you
おとなし
understand?
く
Return to the
メーカー
underworld
へ
before I'm
帰
forced
れ。
to teach you the true meaning of
私が
suffering. No, I
で
won't
き
let
る
you
か
do
よ。
this. Katie! Alan's eyes glittered, and a suddenly powerful wind began to
悪
blow.
魔の実
A
で
mere demon would dare
私に
challenge
逆らう
me?
か。
That's right. I'm never
もう
going to let her go again. Never again. What do you
その手を
let
離
go
せ。
of her? Alan opened his wing to its full length and unleashed his demonic power. A gust came through, and I suddenly couldn't see launch. What? A gust came through, and something I couldn't see launched itself at Lord Jupiter.
無駄
However,
だ。
how pointless. Lord Jupiter simply waved his hand, and the wind
待
disappeared.
て。
Alan launched his assault again and again, but every attempt was thwarted easily. Alan,
待ってろ。
don't worry, I can.
だか
I told you,
ら
it's
無駄だ。
pointless. None of Alan's attacks even came close to him. The power of a demon really was nothing compared to the almighty Lord Jupiter. Damn it, come on,
届け。
get to him. But no matter how hard he tried, none of Alan's attacks reached him. Meanwhile, Alan noticed like Jupiter tightening his own grip on his spear. There was no way Alan could win. He was going to die here. Alan, please, just run.
逃げられる
I
わけ
can't
な
do
い。
that. I never want to
も
experience that pain
う
again.
君をもう
I
見
don't
失
want to
いた
let
く
you
ない。
out of my sight ever again. Never
嫌
again.
だ。お前
Ah,
あ
now I
の
see.
時
You
の
must be that. I truly
す
am
まな
sorry,
い。
but this world cannot afford to lose
だが
Cupid.
神の力を奪
Taking
う
the
こ
power
と
of
は
a
大
god
罪
is
だ。
an unforgivable sin.
お前
You
な
well
ら
people must
分かっ
understand that. I'm a demon, remember?
あゆ
I'm
に
not
く
afraid of a little sin. That's the whole
俺
reason
は
I
悪夢だ
exist.
かったら
So
キ
give
ューピッ
Cupid
ド
back
を
to
返
me.
せ。
I'm not going to let you
あん
take her
たらに
back there.
私はジュ
I
ピ
am
ター
Jupiter, Lord of the
リー
Diconstants.
コン
I am
セン
not
テ
allowed
ス
to
の出
disobey
身
the
だ。
rules of heaven and earth.
歯向かわずに
You should have listened to
一
her
目
and
散
run
に逃
instead
げ
of
ていれば
disobeying me. Lord Jupiter's voice was filled with melancholy, and he raised his hand towards the heavens. In the next moment, Alan was struck by a bolt of lightning.
キューピッ
Alan!
ドダメだ。
Cupid, that's enough. Let go of me. Alan! Alan! My love is suffering. He's going to die. I have to save him. No, I don't want to be away from him ever again. Okay, but this music change slaps. I let go of his hand once before. I'm finally getting answers. Hopefully, maybe. Anyway, this is picture worthy. What was that? It was once a time where I couldn't keep hold of his hand, where I had to let go. But I don't. But I don't. If I don't do something, I'll never be able to hold it again. Bolt after bolt struck him over and over again. Finally, he slowly began to clasp. Our eyes met. He was trying to tell me not to worry. I couldn't believe that even now he was still only thinking about me. Alan! Alan! I reached out my hands, but I grasped only air. Lord Jupiter scooped me up and flew away. Lying on the ground, Alan looked up towards me. He weakly reached out his hand, but the distance was too great. I would never touch his hand again. Once again, we were being separated, but we were able to meet again. He sought me out. Oh, why must it be like this? He's so important to me. All I know is that I never want to be away from him again. Despite all my struggling, Lord Jupiter easily returned me back to Celestia. Let me go! Surprisingly, he did what I asked. Just as he opened his mouth to say something, I heard running footsteps from behind me.
キューピッド
Darling,
無事でよ
I'm
か
so
った
glad you're okay. We were also worried about you.
心配
Mom, Dad. As Mom and Dad hugged me, my heart filled with... Okay, but what about your earthly parents and their daughter? But I quickly distanced myself from them. All I could think about was Alan. I had to get back as soon as I could. He looked like he was injured really badly. Mom, Dad, I'm sorry, but I have to return to the human realm.
キューピッド
Cupid, what are
何
you
を
saying? Someone really important to me is hurt. Please, I'll come back as soon as I can.
ダメよキュッち
No,
ゃん
Cupid, I'm sorry, but you
Anata
were
wa
deceived by that
akuma ni-
demon. Aunt Minerva? I looked around and saw Lady Minerva's goddess knowledge and
キュ
more.
ッちゃん
I'm sorry,
なん
Cupid.
て呼
What
ぶん
did
だっ
you
た
call me? Oh, my apologies. I meant Lady Minerva. Of course, but what do you mean I was deceived?
あなたは
That demon
悪魔
charmed
に
you.
見られてい
That's
るのよ
all.
そ
That's
れがあい
their
つらの
go-to
やり方
strategy. Please don't be
騙され
fooled.
ては
うん
I disagree with
悪魔
them.
は恐ろしい
True,
存
demons
在
are
だ
quite fearsome.
人
They
の
feed on
魂を
human
食ら
souls
い
and rebel
神
against
に
the
あだ
gods.
なす
If
存
you're
在
too close to,
触れ合えばお前でも打
if you
点
get
す
too
るだろう
close,
な
they'll pull you down. But he's been helping me and looking out for me for so long.
エロスダメよ
Let it go,
悪魔
Eros.
と
Gods
私
and
たち
demons
神は
cannot intermingle.
相入れない
Since
存在
medieval
なの
times, all that
中
very
世の頃
since
それ
middle
は
times, at
も
the
うた
very
くさ
least,
ん
we've
争ったの
been
よ
mortal enemies.
それにこの
Speaking of which,
冥界の匂
it
い
seems like the underworld.
キュッちゃんもしかしてサバトに
It
連れ
feels
て
like
行
the
かれた
underworld.
んじゃない
Maybe were you at the Sabbath by any chance? Yeah, but that was an accident.
でもサ
Well,
バ
if
トへ
you've
行
been
ったな
to
ら
the
分かっ
Sabbath,
たで
then
し
you
ょ
know just how bad
悪
they
魔は
really are.
神の魂
They'll
さえも食
even
おう
feed
と
on
するんだって
a God given the chance. But Alan is the one that rescued me.
大方
He probably
自
just
分の
didn't
獲
want
物を
someone
取られ
else
たくな
snacking
かっ
on
た
his
だけだろ
hard-earned prey. That's not true. If he wanted to eat me himself, he had plenty of other opportunities. memories.
でも、キ
Kidnapping
ュ
a
ーピ
god
ッ
from
ドを深
celestial and
海から連れ
stealing
去
away
り、
their
その
powers is a
力を
terrible
封
sin
印
that
するだ
defies
なんて。
the very rules
世
of the
界に
world.
神がいなくなれ
When a
ば、
god
世
disappears,
界
the
は
world
混
will
沌と
plunges
化
into
す。
chaos. We must
誰
all
が欠け
remain
ても
here,
うま
and
くいかない
yet
の
you
よ。
suddenly went missing,
お
Cupid.
前のネックレ
As
スの
soon
反
as
応
your
が
necklace
最近
thing
復
will
活し
came
たか
back,
らな。
we started desperately
わ
searching
し
for
ら
you.
は
It
必
kept
死に
going in
探し
and
ていたん
out,
だ。
so it wasn't
す
easy.
でもさっき、
Your
キューピッド
power
の力が定着し
did
たでしょ。
return to you
それでよ
recently,
うや
did
く見
they
つけ
not?
たの。
That's how we were able to find you. My powers? No, it was because I got my memories back. So that's why Alan was trying so hard to erase my memories. So that way I wouldn't be able to become Cupid again. If I wasn't Cupid, then I wouldn't have to disappear.
ミネルヴァの水
When
晶
I
玉で
saw
見
you
た
in
ら、
Minerva's
悪
crystal
魔
ball,
と
I
一
saw
緒にい
you
る
were
ん
with a
だも
demon.
の。
That certainly surprised me,
さ
I can
すが
tell
の、
you.
本当はミ
I
ネル
didn't
ヴァ
want
に
to
頼
have
りた
to
くなん
rely
か
on
な
her,
かっ
but I
たけ
wanted
ど、
to get my daughter
大
back,
切な
so I
娘
had
の
no
ため。
choice.
うん。だから
Which
ジ
is
ュピター
also
様
why
が
Lord
直
Jupiter
々にお
himself
出
went
まし
down
に
to
な
the
ったん
world
だ。
below.
相手は上級悪
The
魔だ。
enemy was a greater demon,
わ
so
し
if
らが
we
出ては
come down
人
ourselves,
間を
innocent
巻き
humans
込んだ
might have
戦い
been
にな
harmed.
る。
I see. Lord Jupiter was just standing there quietly, a step removed. He looked as if he was genuinely sorry for forcing me to come back, but all those merciless thunderbolts. As Mom, Dad, and Aunt Minerva surrounded me, Lord Jupiter just sighed and walked away. Lord Jupiter. I was about to call out to him, but Dad suddenly rested his large.
とにかくキューピッ
Now
ド。
then, Cupid, ever since you
お前がい
disappeared,
なかっ
all
たせいで
relationships in the human
人
realm have
間界
become
の
a
恋
total
愛も
mess. What? But Cupid Corp is still around, right?
神がいなけれ
But
ば
with a god,
縁を
without a
切ること
god
もできん。
there to guide them, they're having trouble getting out of bad
あの
relationships.
プライダルアド
Those
バイザーと
bridal
やらが
advisors have
手
created
前
lots
勝手
of
に
new
縁結びを
couples
した
true,
結
but
果
so many of
ひ
them
どい
are
カップルば
horrible
かりが
fits
誕
for
生
each
したんだ。
other. What? Is that true?
そうよ。
Sadly, yes, romance in the human realm
お
has
か
been
げで
turned
人
on
間
its
界の
head.
恋はめ
Been
ちゃ
trying to
く
help
ちゃ。
how we can in
だ
your
から
absence.
悪いカップルの男たちを私
Like
が
trying
こ
to
の
lure
無
away
謀
the
で
really
魅了
bad
し
guys
た
with
り。
my irresistible
ね。
charm.
でも
But
全
nothing has
然
worked.
う
Without
まく
Cupid's
いかな
bow,
か
we
った
didn't have a
わ。
long-term
キュッ
solution.
ちゃったミネ
Hey,
ルヴ
don't make
ァ。
it sound like my charms didn't
私の
work
魅
at
了が
all.
あらそんな風に聞こ
Uh,
えたかしら。
did it sound like that? Don't
あな
worry.
た
I
の
know how
美し
pretty
さ
you
は
really
十
are.
分。
Although I'm even prettier is probably what she was thinking. Anyways, right, Cupid's bow. I have it with me now. Did I always have Cupid's bow the whole time I was human?
おそらくそうだろうな。
Most likely. It's hard to
お
put
か
into
げで
words how
キ
much
ューピ
we've
ッドも
suffered
キューピッ
without
ド
you
の
and
野
your
もな。
arrows.
まったく
How dare you
神
pretend
と
to be
もあろ
human
うも
and
のだ。
deceive the gods?
ちょっとあなた。
Now, honey, she was
エロ
deceived by a
スは
demon and
悪い
forced
悪魔
to
に
become
引
a
っかかっ
human. Mom, stop. He really isn't a bad demon. Everything he did was to help
エ
me.
ロス。
My darling arrows, that's
悪い男
exactly
に
what
引っか
every
かった
girl who's been
女。
fooled by a bad man
いい
says. But Alan isn't bad, I swear. He really did everything he could to protect me. He just wanted to keep me from disappearing. Mom, Dad, Leonor, can you any of you tell me you didn't know I'd be disappearing soon? After I said that, they all went silent. What?
あ
Their faces all tightened up, so it was true. I had to get back to Alan, but suddenly Aunt Minerva was there, blocking my path.
キューちゃん。
Cupid, listen, the alpha
そ
demon
の
fooled
悪
you,
い
poor
や。
girl.
そんなの
That's just
悪
some
魔の
lie your
作った
demon
デ
made
タ
up.
ラメ
He
よ。
wants you to believe
自
us
分を
gods are
信
the
じこ
enemy. Alan would never do that.
これを見ても
Would you still
そう
believe
言える
that even if I showed you this? Huh? This is
インキュバス。
her name is
ア
Clarice
ラン・
Tyre.
メル
She's
ビ
a
ルの
succubus
お
and a close
仲間
friend of
の
Alan
悪魔。
Minerva, aka an incubus.
あなたのルー
In
ム
other
メイ
words,
ト
your
も。
roommate was a demon
あ
too. What? A succubus, Clarice? What? I mean, but she totally did act like a succubus. She'd go out all night, hanging out with different men all the time. She was like a female version of Alan. So the reason Clarice never fell in love is because she was a succubus. But even if that's true, it doesn't mean that they were trying to deceive me. Both of them treated me so well.
何を寝ぼけ
What
た
are
こ
you
とを言って
talking
お
about?
る。
Having two separate
2
demons
匹も
around
悪
you
魔
is
がそ
not
ばにい
mere
て
coincidence.
偶然なはずもない。
They just wanted to
どうせ
feed.
お前を
Clarice
食らうチャ
couldn't
ンス
feed
を
on
狙
me.
って
Like,
い
what
た。
you talking about? But
エロス。
Eros, a demon, would never ever look after a god.
うん。
Exactly.
大
They
抵
just
は
want
騙す
to
ため
lure
の
you
還
into
元。
their sweet talk.
都合の
They'll
いい
say
ことば
whatever
かり。
they
あ
think
や
will work.
ファウストのメフィスト・ペレス。
Paradise
失
Lost
楽
in
園
the
や
Divine
新曲のルシファ
Comedy.
ー。
Those things
あれ
really
は
happened.
キューちゃんが生まれる
It
前
was
の
all
こと
because
だか
you
ら
were born.
あなた
They
は
say
知らない
you
だろうけど
may not be too familiar with it. Oh, it was before you were born. All three of them trying to make Alan out to be the bad guy. They're all part of the die constant, so it's only natural they'd have have a bad opinion of demons. But Aunt Minerva always told me demons were nothing back then.
言っただろ
I told you, you're going to disappear. Every
君
single
は
god besides the dad constants are nothing
この
more
ままじゃ消
than
滅する
disposable pawns. Alan's words echoed through my head. Dad constants are so selfish, just like any other adult. They treat younger gods like me like little kids and refuse to share any of their knowledge with us. Alan doesn't seem like he'd lie about God disappearing. Aunt Minerva says that's just what demons do. If Alan is telling the truth, then I'll just get used up and disappear. And obviously the other gods wouldn't want to tell me about that. Asking Mom and Dad and Aunt Minerva about it is pointless. They just hide the truth and tell me nothing. In the end, Lord Jupiter and the other constants just don't care about us lower gods. And I just couldn't imagine Alan lying to me like that. He'd been watching over me this whole time. If Alan's right, then the gods are constantly lying to me. I hate that I feel like I can't trust anyone in Celestia. This is the second time I've questioned the nature of the gods. Well, I better start shooting people with my bows and arrows again. Alone beneath the sky. Then Mom and Dad said that I should come with them. I thought that they might toss me in jail for disobeying them and running off, but my room? They just brought me back to the same room I'd stayed in for so long. Yes, well, we think you should get some rest. Dad looked a little restless himself, but it wasn't full of his usual attitude. Kind of like a dad who wasn't sure what to do with his rebellious daughter who had just run away. And what about my work as Cupid? Well, Lord Jupiter said to put that on hold for now. He did? Well, I thought it's best you get back to work right away, but he said no. Apparently, if you go back to work, you'll lose your powers. Lord Jupiter is very worried about you. Huh? Lose my powers? That must be what Alan was talking about before about me about disappearing. I thought I disappeared just by running out of time. But if what Dad is saying is true, I should be fine as long as I don't use my powers. Dad hid the truth earlier, so why would he admit it now? But then I realized that the only one who lied about me disappearing was Aunt Minerva. Dad only said that demons were dangerous. He didn't actually deny what I said. Then is Dad on my side? Lord Jupiter will treat you fairly. All he asked was that you stay in your room. Besides, you must be exhausted after going all over the human realm and the underworld. You should get some sleep. Saying that, he nervously patted me on the head. Even though we got into another one of our heated arguments, maybe he softened up a bit because I was gone for so long. But 20 years should be nothing for a god. That might be a long time for humans, but it's practically a blink of an eye for a god. They did say they were searching for me all this time. Were they really worried about me? That has always been so protective, which is exactly how I got myself into such trouble. Suddenly, I remember playing hide and seek with Dad here in Celestia a long time ago. I may not fully trust the gods as a whole, but I do still have memories of Dad raising me with love and care. If I talk to him honestly, he might be willing to listen to me. I gathered my courage and looked him in the eye. Dad, can't we just go and discuss this with Lord Jupiter directly? Well, Lord Jupiter is rather busy at the moment. The truth is, he seemed to struggle with whether or not he should keep going, but finally he spoke. Juno, the god of marriage, has gone missing. What? Lady Juno? That's right. Nature of the human world is a shambles with both you and the god of marriage went missing. Actually, Lord Jupiter wishes to speak with you about this soon. Until then, please just be patient and get some rest. You say that, but I can't just sit around here doing nothing. Not when I know that Alan is down there, injured in pain. Dad said that marriage rate is horrible now since Cupid has been gone so long. So what choice do I have but to use my Cupid's bow and eventually disappear? I have some other matters to attend to, so I need to be going. Please try and get some rest. Dad spoke to me softly, then left the room. After he left, I heard footsteps that could only be divine soldiers. Of course, I have to be watched. Dad's kind voice, I thought he would understand my feelings. But the only reason Dad is kind to me is because I'm Cupid and the world needs me. If I fled from my duties, he'd definitely come after me with that axe of his. Nobody in Celestia cares about me as a person. I think Lord Jupiter does. Alan is the only one who sees me for who I am. If Lord Jupiter didn't care, he would have had you go back to work right away. Just thinking about him made my chest feel tight. If I'm going to disappear anyway, I'd like to see Alan one more time to find out the full truth. Even if Dad is right and Alan has been lying to me, I still love him so much that I don't care. So I'm going to stand up to them. I might disappear. Alan, who's already suffered Lord Jupiter's wrath, might die. But I need to go to the human realm before it's too late. But to do that, I'll need to trick the gods here somehow. My hands were shaking as I touched the necklace around my neck. Dad said the Lord Jupiter told him I shouldn't use Cupid's bow. If I do, I might disappear, so how many times can I use it? There's no time to think about it. All I could think about was Alan in pain. I called upon my Cupid bow. Please, divine arrow, take their love for me. What are you looking for? Oh, check down here. It might have fallen. Is it on your desk? It's either on your desk or it's by the other mail over there. I don't think I brought it over here. Did you see it on the black, by the, yeah. Weird. Make sure I didn't put it over here. We'll find it. I didn't throw it away, I know that much. It's in here somewhere. I don't think it's on the air fryer. Oh. Oh, that was weird. Why did I do that? I let loose an arrow. It split into two and pierced the air. Each arrow struck the heart of one of the divine soldiers. Suddenly, my own heart started to pound. It was practically beating out of my chest. I was having trouble breathing. Maybe I shouldn't have used my powers again. But after a second, the pain went away. I could still stand. I could still go on. Cupid, are you okay? Divine soldiers I'd shot had worried looks on their faces. They were the faces of people who clearly fallen in love specifically with me. I'm fine, but could the two of you please escort me out of here? Yes, absolutely. You can leave it to us. The two were now slaves to love and opened the gates for me right away. Feeling my resolve, I made my escape. I had Cupid's bow, so even if I ran, they might still be able to find me right away. But as long as I still had time to live, I wanted to do whatever I could to see him again. A decision was made. I squeezed my fist with determination. I decided to sneak into Minerva's room in order to make my way back to the human realm. Oh boy. Hopefully she's not there. You're gonna get caught. As soon as I left my room, I was confronted with a Celestian chaos. Hey, Lord Jupiter is calling for us. I'll be right there. I've been ordered to take care of this. Everyone seems to be really busy. If Lady Juno disappeared, I guess that explains the chaos. I've never actually met her for myself. I wonder what kind of goddess she is. With the help of the divine soldiers, I was able to make my way to Minerva's room. Now's my chance. I quickly checked to see if that divine beast was around anywhere and headed for the door. As I entered, I looked around to see if anyone was around. Yeah, she's not here. I followed the path she'd shown me before to get to the secret gate that would take me to the human realm. Okay, now, please don't let anyone know I'm gone. I'll be back in like 2 hours, I think. See you later. Sorry, I'm Minerva. I need to borrow this. As I stepped forward, I felt the same sense of being pulled in I'd felt before. Please take me wherever Alan is. I don't know if praying might actually take me to him, but humans pray to the gods, and sometimes the gods do listen to them. Alan, please. I ended up teleporting to Alan's shop, Pillow Luxuria. There was thick, dark blood pooled in front of the entrance. Is this demon blood? I nervously opened the door and saw that the lights were off. I swallowed hard at the sight of the uninviting door. More drops of thick liquid covered the floor, leading towards the stairs. Second floor. It must be Alan's room. Is he up there, or could it be some other fearsome demon? I grasped my Cupid bow tightly and made my way up the stairs. As soon as I reached the top of the stairs, I saw a badly injured Alan laying on the floor. Alan! I ran over and embraced him. His one wing was torn to shreds. A number of wounds were dripping with black blood. Alan, please don't die. You're going to be okay. When I put my hands on his back, he looked up at me. He looked pale, almost completely drained of life. I escaped from Dad. I'm sure they'll find me in no time, but I was so worried about
なん
you.
て無茶す
A
る
huge burst. They didn't hurt you, did they? No, no, I'm completely fine. He looked ready to pass out, and he's still worried about me. I could feel tears stinging my eyes. I'm so sorry, Ellen. This is all my fault. What can I do? Oh, should I not touch you? I'm a god, but I wasn't sure if touching him might heal him or hurt him. I wasn't sure what I should do. Alan just shook his head.
君にだけ
You can
は
touch me. I'll be fine. Alan. Oh, my poor baby. I hugged him tightly, and he stiffened a bit. But then he quickly relaxed. Right, it's you. He sounded so relieved as if he wanted to cry. There was complete sincerity in his voice, as if he couldn't help but call out for me despite resisting me. There was a warmth that felt like a long lost memory. The same man I'd embraced so many times, the demon I'd kissed, the lover of my 30 straight days. I'm sorry for my terrible
ご
appearance.
め
You shouldn't have
んこんな
to see me like this. What do you
君は
mean? You
神
are a
だろ
goddess. Perhaps you think I'm
こん
just
な
some
悪魔の姿
despicable
を
demon.
汚らわしいって思うはずだ
But I can't keep my
でも
human form any longer,
も
and this is my true self. Alan gave me that typical self mocking grin of his, but his eyes told me he truly didn't want me to see his demon form. In response, I just smiled and embraced him tighter. To be honest, I prefer you in this
う
form.
こんな
Even though I'm just a filthy demon?
俺
Yes,
は
but I'm an enemy of Cupid. Yes,
俺は
I'm a thief and a parasite. I'm everything you stand against. Doesn't that make you angry? All he wanted is for me to not feel bad for him. Despite how much he's suffering, he's never wanted to rely on me. I love him so much. Even after the effects of my Cupid arrows wore off, my love for him never changed. He's filled with such compassion. From the entire 30 days we were together, he took care of me, fawned over me. Even though he tried to resist, he ended up kissing me and reaching out for me in kindness. And when my life was drawing to an end, he protected me against my by reincarnating me. Suddenly, I felt a slight sting on my skin. What was that? It felt like something was crawling beneath my skin. As I stood there confused, Ellen suddenly grasped. Get away from me.
俺
Huh?
は今
Thanks to my injuries,
怪我を
I
してい
started
る
to
から
absorb your life energy. Ellen tried to push me away, but he was so weak it was impossible. My life is flowing into you? Then that's exactly what I want. My only wish is that for the chance to save you. I hugged him even tighter. He did everything he could to resist. No, I don't want to
ダメ
lose
だ
you again. Not like this. See, even though he's the one on death's door, he still worries about me. Yeah, you're about to die. And you can't be reincarnated. So, like, if you're dead, you're, like, dead. If it means he can get better, he should just use me. But he still refuses because he wants me to live. Such a kind person would never try to deceive me. The gods are the ones lying to me, I'm sure of
頼
it.
む
Please let go of me.
話
Otherwise,
してくれ
I don't want you to disappear. I don't want you to disappear either, so please, Alan, don't die. I haven't remembered everything there is to know about you. So until I do, please live. I love you, Alan, more than anything. Just the way he said my name, I could tell he was pouting, just like usual. His, he touched me softly with those injured hands and caressed my cheek. Again, I remembered his face. The look is different, but the kindness is the same.
また
Back to heaven. Heaven? Huh? Without warning, Alan suddenly disappeared. He was just gone. I stared into my arms. Alan? One second he was there, the next he was nowhere to be seen. The silence in the room was deafening. I couldn't even hear the sound of breathing. Did he die? I heard a sound behind me and turned. I saw Clarice standing there, a stunned look on her face. Clarice,
な、
what are you
なんで
doing
ここに
here?
いるの？
Didn't Jupiter take you back to Celestia? Yes, but I was able to sneak away. But listen, Clarice, just now You must know where Alan is, right? Since you're a demon like him.
あら、バレ
Oh,
ちゃっ
that.
たか
Have no fear. He just returned to the
でも
underworld
そん
to
な
heal
顔し、
himself. Are you sure?
ええ、
Absolutely.
あなた
He
が
was able to
力を分
regain
けて
enough
くれた
strength
お
to
か
go
げで、
back, thanks to you.
帰る力
I
が
guess
復
I
活し
brought
たみた
these
い。
sausages for nothing. Sausages? I tilted my head in confusion. I suddenly pulled out a bunch of sausages from the bag she was holding.
悪魔の回復
Demons
には
feed on flesh
血
and
肉が
blood,
必要
right?
だから
So
買
I
ってき
grabbed
たの。
some from the store. Humans
本
is
当
better.
は人肉とか羊
Humans
肉がいいん
better,
だけど、
but try finding
予
that
算
in
よ。
Lost York. So she was out buying sausage at the store. She just chuckled to herself. But a surprisingly modern demon. But that's human meat. Hearing her say something so scary, I realized she really was a demon. So you're a succubus after
え
all.
え、そうよ。
Yep. I asked her again just to be sure, and she nodded her head proudly. So you've been lying to me this whole time?
騙すなん
Come
て
on,
人
don't
聞
think
き
of it
悪い
like
わね。
that. I've been a demon my entire life. Why
私
should
は
I
生
have
ま
to
れた
explain
時から
myself? She puffed out her cheeks in annoyance. I guess she was still the same Clarice I'd come to like. But I guess she has a point. It's not like I told her I was Cupid. I wasn't hiding it or anything. I just would have been too difficult to explain. All kinds of people live in Lost York, and most of them never mention where they're from because why would it matter? That's all there was to it. I'm sorry, Clarice, you're right. But don't tell me it was just a coincidence that we wound up being friends.
まあそう
Oh
ね。
no, I've been looking after Alan for a
私
while
が拾
now,
っ
and he
て
came
面
to
倒
me
見てあ
asking
げ
for
てた
help.
アラ。
Looking after him? Yeah, I'm
実
kind of
は
like his
私、
stepmom. I
ア
guess
ラ
you
ン
could
の
say
育
he
て
just
の
fell
親
out
みた
of
い
the
なも
sky
の
in
なの。
front of me one day. Really? Sir Clarice was his stepmom. That was definitely a shocking bit of news. Does that mean she's hundreds of years old too? But she's so cute. It's hard to believe she could be even older than Alan. As I stood there frozen with surprise, Clarice just looked at me
い
inside.
つでも
He was
ア
always
ランは
thinking
あ
of
な
you,
たの
you
ことばっ
know.
かり考えてた。
All his lying, all his
あの子
thieving,
が
it
人を
was
だ
all for you. Huh?
来たばかりの頃
When he
は
first got here,
何度も深海に行こうとしてた。
he kept trying to get into Celestia.
悪魔が
He'd
深
fail,
海に
get
行ける
himself
はずな
hurt,
いの
try
にさ。
again, fail again, rise,
今日こそ
rinse and
なん
repeat.
どうしてもいけないって分かっ
Once
て
he
からは
accepted that it was
上
impossible,
級
he
悪魔
started
になる
sinning
た
as
め
much
に
as he
た
could
く
in
さ
order
ん
to
罪
become
を
a greater
重ねて
demon.
そうすれば
He said he
新
wanted
薬
unlimited
転覆の
access
書
to
の
the book
閲
of
覧権
vanquishing
限
so
も
that
増
he
え
could
て
find a way to get
深
into
海に
Celestia.
それで
And
新
once
薬
he
転
learned that
覆
a
の書を
Cupid
読んで
loses their power,
キ
they
ューピ
fall
ッ
in
ド
love
が人と
with
恋
a
すれば
human.
神じゃなくなる
That
って
became
分か
his
って
new
からは
exception.
でもあの子不器用だから
But he's so
全然
clumsy,
あ
he
なたに
still
近
couldn't
づけ
get
なく
close
て
to you. So I decided to help him out.
それ
And
で
then we
私
became
が
friends, of course. Clarice winked at me, and I was surprised at how happy that made me. I'm glad to hear you say that. To be honest, I consider you my best friend in the world, you know. As I said that, I took her hand. She just smiled at me
だ
sadly.
から友
Then
達
ask
と
your
して
friend
言う
do me
わ
a favor. Whatever awful things
き
the
っと
gods
神
have
た
said
ち
about
は
him,
アラン
don't
を悪く言
please
うだろ
believe
う
in
けれ
Alan.
ど
I will. After all, I was going to do that anyway. Because Alan is the man I love. I'll do whatever it takes to live for him to live. But why did Alan help me in the first place?
そんなの
I always wanted
私
the
の
same
方が聞
thing.
きた
I
いわ
raised him myself, but he never really
せっかく
been
拾った悪
like a
魔が
normal
あんな
demon. Louise looked over to where Alan had disappeared and smiled sadly
あ
again.
の子が本
He's
当
a
にい
good
い子な
boy,
の
that
だけ
much is
は
for sure.
ゆ
She totally had the air of a caring mom or older
だ
sister.
からあなた
Anyway,
は生き延びることだけ考
just try to
えていて
survive. I don't want Alan to be sad once he
悪
heals
魔界で
up in
傷
the
を癒し
underworld
て
and makes his
戻っ
way
てき
back. Okay, thanks you, Clarice. Try to survive, but what can I do to make that happen? I touched my Cupid bow necklace and looked up at the sky. Dad said Jupiter was concerned about me, and I should just wait patiently. But I couldn't trust anyone in Celestia anymore. If I really going to disappear, they're going to do everything they can to keep quiet about it. I don't want to believe that, but
また
back to heaven. That's what Alan said earlier. Maybe a place he wants us to go together again. Maybe there's a hint to my memory there. If I go there, could I remember the days I spent with him? Heaven is a place that exists right below Celestia. In order to get there, I need to open the connecting gates in Celestia. I wonder how much time I have left. I want to be with Alan until my final moment, but going to the underworld again is probably too dangerous. All those demons. If I did that, Alan might try to come and rescue me again. All I can do now is move forward, follow that one single clue to try and regain my memories. Going back home is definitely a risk, but I feel like I need to visit heaven and try to find out the truth. If I just stand here waiting around, I'll almost certainly disappear and never get to see Alan again. Oh, will we finally get the truth? At long last, will we know? Hands clasped to the end. I used my divine artifact to return to Celestia, and the entire place was even more chaos than before.
おいキュー
Hey,
ピッ
did
ド
you
様
find
はディア
Cupid?
こ
No,
っち
she's
にもいない
not over
ジュピ
there.
ター様
We
に
need to
怒
find
ら
her
れる
before
前
Lord
に
Jupiter finds
ジュピ
out.
ター様がお呼
Where's
びだって
Cupid?
の
Lord
に
Jupiter wants to
一
see
体
her.
ど
This is bad. I hid behind a big pole, hoping they wouldn't spot me. Dad said that I should get plenty of rest, so I thought I'd have more time, but I guess he wanted to see me right away. I need to get moving right now. As soon as the soldiers were gone, I started to tiptoe forward. I should turn down that way. A terrifying scream startled me, and I spun around. I saw a rooster standing there, Dad's
キ
divine
ュ
beast.
ーピッドここ
There
に
you
いま
are. I was.
今のはマーズ
Did
様の
you
おんど
see
り
the
の
screech of
声
Lord?
キューピッド様
We've been looking
こ
for
こ
you all
に
over. Well, I had to go to the bathroom.
何言ってい
What
る
are
ん
you
ですか
talking about? God
ト
said
イレ
go
なん
to the
て神
bathroom. That's true. We don't go get hungry or go to sleep either. There's no bathrooms up here. I've been a human for so long I totally
とにか
forgot.
くジ
If
ュピ
Jupiter
ター
wants to
様
see
がお
you,
呼び
you
で
need to
す
prepare and head
お
there
支度
immediately. Oh, so much for getting heaven. The divine soldiers surrounded me and escorted me back to my room. They then had me change into clothing similar to the ones worn by the Jedi constant. What's with this outfit? I don't recall there ever being rules about what kind of clothes you had to wear to meet Lord Jupiter. Divine constant, the divine soldiers all looked at me with
キューピッ
dismay.
ド様聞いて
Didn't
いない
anybody
んで
tell
す
you
か
since Lady Juno was
ジュ
gone,
ノー
you were
様が
going to
行
become
方
the
不
next
明
Lady
な
Juno? What? Me as Lady Juno? I'm going to become Lady Juno? What the heck is going
十
on?
二神に欠
If
番が
something
出た
happens
ら
to one of the Daikons,
下位
they're
の神
replaced
か
by
ら補
one
充
of
す
the
るこ
lower
とにな
ranking
と言って
gods.
も
Of course, this
私
is
が
the
知る
first
限
time
り
I've
欠番なんて
ever
出
seen
た
it
ことな
happen
いで
for
すから
myself, so
我
I don't
々
really
も
know what's going to
どう
happen.
先ほど
They
リー
gathered
コンセンテス
together
の皆様が
they
集まら
gathered
れて
together earlier to
ジュノー
discuss the
様にふ
issue.
さわし
They
い
ended up
神を
choosing you. What? So one of the 12 greater Olympians can be replaced too? Not just a lower god? Any god can be replaced? No. I need someone to explain this to me properly. If I become Lady Juno, then what happens to
だ
Cupid?
からキュ
Well,
ーピッドも
naturally
また補
Cupid will
充
be
します
replaced too. By who?
我々のような
I
神
have no
兵の知る
idea.
ところではありません
Maybe if you become Lady Juno, you can
12
find
神で
out
あ
for
る
yourself. What? But I'm nothing like Lady Juno. Besides, the real Lady Juno might end up
あ
coming
な
back.
たが今着て
Part
いる
of what
服
you're
は
wearing is
ジ
one
ュ
of
ノ
Lady
ー様
Juno's
の
divine
寝具です
artifacts.
つ
It
い
just
最近その
recently
寝
appeared
具
near
だけが寝
Celestia,
具が深海
and
に
when a
戻る
divine
と
artifact
いうこ
returns
と
all by
はつま
itself,
り
that means its original
も
owner
う
is no
ジュノー
longer. That's awful, but I'm sorry, I can't do it. I mean, isn't Lady Juno like Lord Jupiter's wife? At least that's what all the stories and history books
そう
say.
ですね
Well, yes,
ジュピ
Lady
ター
Juno
様をお
supports
そ
Lord
ばで支
Jupiter and
え
blesses human
にジュノー
marriages.
様もキュー
And
ピッ
since
ド様もいらっしゃら
both
な
you
かっ
and
た
she
せい
has
で
been gone for so long,
今
human marriages just
人
fallen
間だ
into
から
chaos. Which
一
is why
刻
we
も
need a
早
new
く
Lady
ジュノー
Juno
様が必
immediately.
要
So
なんで
please
す
hurry up and
ジュ
marry
ピタ
Lord
ー
Jupiter
様と
and take
結
her
婚
place. Marry Lord Jupiter and become the new Lady Juno? In other words, we'd be husband and wife, right? Like mom and dad. I can't do that. Please find someone else.
は
Huh?
あ
What are you
何
saying? There are plenty of other gods. There's no reason it has to be
ま
me.
あ
Well, I
確かに
suppose
そ
that's
う
true,
で
but
いやいや
no,
ダ
no, no.
メ
This
ですよ
is the will of
リー
Dad
コ
constant. But I'm not worthy. After all, I'm the one who got seduced by a demon, right? And even as Juno, I'm still just gonna go back to the human realm to check on Alan. I can't just throw away my feelings, even in the name of duty. What's more important, your duty or your love? I'm the goddess of love, so of course for me it's my love. I've reached a point where I can say that without a doubt, I can't live without love. And if that's the way I feel, surely I'm not fit to be part of the Dad constant, right? It can be anyone, right? Why don't you become
キ
her?
ューピッド様
Cupid, what are you saying? Whatever, the point is, I'm not worthy. What about...
え
Who?
何言ってるんで
What
す
are you
か
saying? She's married to Lord Pluto. But I have someone that I love too, so I can't marry Lord Jupiter. What?
キューピッ
Cupid,
ド様
you're
が
getting
ご結
married?
そんな
No, our
お前
darling goddess. The two soldiers I'd made fall in love with me earlier came rushing in.
お前た
What are
ち
you
何を
talking
言って
about?
私は
Cupid, I'm in love with you.
キューピッド様に
Please allow me to
恋を
express
す
my
る
feelings.
話がやや
Don't
こしく
come
なる
here
から
making
出てくるんじゃ
things
ない
even more complicated. No, please make it complicated. Can you two help me escape? I don't want to get married.
ちょっと
Cupid,
キューピッド様が逃げ
we
る
vow
の
to
に
help you, our darling
おう
Cupid.
いやいやお前
What's the
何
matter
手
with
を
you
貸そう
two?
としてるんだ
You would dare defy Lord
Cupid
Jupiter's orders?
様のため
Anything
なら
for... This is so funny! I could hear the soldiers I charmed arguing with the others. But there was no time to stop and worry about them. I just couldn't become one of the Dad constant. I had more to learn about Alan and myself, and that's why I had to make my way to heaven. I mean, maybe he wants you to become the Dad constant so you don't die. I ran as fast as my legs would carry me. Eventually, I came to the gate. The gate to heaven, located in an area where no gods were allowed. But somehow the gate was familiar to me. I felt like I'd seen this gate open once before. Wow, it's actually really pretty. I mean, it was pretty before, but now that you can see the colors, I opened the gate and traveled to heaven. There I saw countless angels, angels that looked content, that opened their wings wide and flew through the sky. There were no voices, only the flapping of wings against the wind. It was exactly the kind of scene people imagined when they heard the word heavenly. I know this world. Oh, that's right. This is from the moment where I was barely old enough to remember. I carried out as I cried out as a memory of what could only be my previous life came flooding into my mind. I remember why Alan has been trying to save me. I remember it all. Alan and I were together 150 years ago. From the moment we were born and descended into this world, we'd lived our lives believing in each other. He and I were the two halves of a single angel. For over 150 years ago. Oh, that would explain the weird scars on their back. Angels have no names. They have no voices. And yet every angel knows its other half. We were born together, two halves of a whole angel, and lived together for decades. Together in heaven, where there is no concept of time. The sun doesn't rise or set. We would clasp our hands together and soar through the sky. Two halves, two half angels with matching breezes. We didn't have to speak a single word to know exactly what the other was thinking. When I played a silly prank, he'd be at a loss for words. When I felt sad, he'd start to panic. We were always there for each other. We'd hold each other, feeling like we were the only ones who understood each other. But those days came to an end when the gate opened. Standing before us were Lord Jupiter and Lord
そ
Mercury.
この天使
You two
こ
angels
ちらへ来な
there,
さ
come
い
here. Lord Mercury was pointing to a particular round angel. She approached Lord Jupiter, who put his hand on her.
天眼の横に
Angel
生
born of
まれし
heaven, I
天
give you
使
the name Nick. A high, clear sound rang out, and the ring on the angel crumbled. Then she entered the gate and made her way to Celestia. That was the first time we'd seen a god come to choose an angel. We both took a step back. We were in shock. Usually, when a god appears, it was to give them some kind of specific order. Gods age when they go to the human realm, so they would usually use angels to go down and give blessings to the humans. The work we did was known as destiny. Every angel's job is to heed the God's commands and work on behalf of humans. In other words, they're the God's messengers. When we didn't have orders, we could just relax in our spring of everlasting life. But that day, I saw the true reality. We felt like we'd seen something we weren't meant to, so we tried to fly away together. But the gods weren't finished just
そこ
yet.
の天使も
You two,
こち
come
らへ
to
来な
us.
さい
When I saw his finger, I couldn't hide my shock. It was pointing straight at me. I looked at him in open astonishment. We were two halves of one angel. I thought we'd be together forever. I never imagined one of us would be asked to leave heaven. I thought we'd be able to help the gods together
どうした
forever. What's the matter?
こちらへ
Come.
来
I couldn't disobey a god's direct order, so I flapped my wing, and flew over to him. Lord Jupiter held his hand over my forehead as if he was trying to block the light for me.
天界の上に生ま
Angel
れし
born of
天使
seas, angel born
主
of the
神ジ
seas
ュピ
of
ターが
heaven,
お前を
I give you the name
キューピッ
Cupid. As my angel ring disintegrated, I felt something important inside me disappear. No, someone, my other half, my angel. He stared at me in disbelief. As I looked back, of my memories of his eyes started to fall to pieces within me. No, I don't want to be separated. I don't want to forget. I tried to scream, but I had no voice to release it. Lord Mercury took my hand, and we went through the gate to Celestia. I was sure he tried to call out my name. An inaudible voice pierced my chest. But we no longer had any way to reach out and hold each other. I was no longer an angel. Oh, that's really sad. The moment I walked through the gate, I lost every last memory of him. I remember now. A single warm tear rolled down my cheek. That's right, Alan and I lived here together. Until the day I was chosen, that is, on the day I forgot everything about being born into this world. I always thought I was Cupid my entire life and that Mars and Venus were my family. That's how Celestia was designed to work. but my only true family was Alan. Why did I have to forget? I was the other half of his angel. It's all because I became Cupid. I was a goddess of love, but I forgot about the single most important person to me. What a terrible thing. A name with no pronunciation, a name we created in a world with no sound, no voices. That's how much we cared about each other. I didn't meet Alan at Cupid Corp. We were together for centuries before that. I need to see him again. I need to see Alan, the other half of my soul. I couldn't become the new Juno because my fellow angel has become a demon. If he fell like that, then I should too. Just then the gates opened and the divine soldiers came
キュー
storming
ピッ
in.
ド様がいた
There she
ぞ
is,
こん
Cupid.
なところに
So this
隠
is
れて
where
いた
you
の
were
か
hiding. You have to come
早
with
く
us.
来てください
It's
あ
your
なた
duty to
は
become Lady Juno. Terrified of the soldiers, all the angels flew off. All of these angels will become gods someday. Angels are the servants of gods, but at the same time, they're basically God's backup. In other words, angels have no right of their own. I don't want to be a god that's okay with that. It's wrong for God to be above angels like that. The same anger I felt when I rebelled against Dad is the first place started to flare up inside me. The human realm is in chaos because of me and Lena Gino were gone. Then when I was down there, everything seemed just fine to me. I saw plenty of people fall in love while I was at Cupid Corp, and I saw tons of people living happily. There weren't any problems. The only problem I saw is how self-important us gods are. I don't think the gods are all that important. I can't stay in
キ
Celestia
ューピ
anymore.
ッド様
Cupid, what are you
何
doing? I refuse to let anybody claim ownership of me. I took off running, jumped off the edge of heaven, down towards the earth, and towards the underworld beyond it. I was hoping that I could fall just like him. Oh, snap, crackle, pop, Rice Krispie. Now that I'm back in the underworld, I need to get back to work trying to heal myself up. Injuries inflicted by a god tend to heal slow. The bleeding has stopped, but the pain is still very much there. I bear down on the excruciating pain running through my body. If I sat here in the underworld, my wounds will heal eventually. But I couldn't just sit here doing nothing. She still got her divine artifact. The Jupiter is going to find her sooner or later. Please, you have to heal quickly. If I can't, to just get my wing taken care of. That spooked me. If I could just get my wing taken care of, at least I can fly out of here. If I can do that much, I don't care about the pain. There's a shed outside of our door, and it made a big old loud noise. Moving my wing even a little bit shuts both the pain from my body. There's no way I can fly like this. Yeah, no, dude. I wonder what she's doing. I left her behind at my home. Have the gods found her yet? If so, they'll go right back to using her as Cupid and she'll disappear. I can't stand this fear. I don't have time to wait for my wounds to heal.
二度と
If it means I can never fly again, I'm willing to give that up in order to protect her. I took a deep breath and started to flap my wing. Dude, no! I was in so much pain I thought I was going to go insane. But that kind of pain meant nothing. I had to get her as soon as possible. My angel, my absolute reason for existence. If she disappeared up there, I wouldn't have a chance to ever see her again. I can't let that happen. Bruh, no. I pulled my entire will into flying back to Celestia, but I just couldn't reach it. Demons can actually see Celestia, but unlike humans, but still we can only see it. The aiming almighty energy surrounding it prevents us from getting anywhere close to it. As soon as a demon gets near, pain starts shooting through their entire body. I know all that, but I still have to try. If I do end up losing her, I don't want to have any regrets. She gonna fall into his arms, bet. Flying through the clouds, I spotted the gate leading to Celestia, but once again, I couldn't make my way past it. My breathing got tight, and my entire body started to sweat. I knew if I let up for even a second, I'd plummet out of the sky. Damn it. A little bit more. I'm almost
おい
there. Hey,
キュー
have
ピッ
you
ド
found
様
Cupid yet? Cupid. As soon as I heard that voice, I quickly found a hiding spot. I noticed that the divine soldiers guarding the gate were in total
いや
chaos. Not
まだ
yet.
だ
We have no idea where she might
せ
be.
っか
She's
くキ
been
ューピ
chosen
ッ
to
ド
become
様は
the
ジュ
next
ノー様
Juno.
に選
What
ば
on
れ
earth
たっ
is her
ての
problem? What? Chosen to be the next Juno. My mind suddenly froze up. This was not good news. My body started to fall forward, down and out of the sky. Damn, no, I'm so close. But there's no strength left in my body. The ground came rushing, just like before. Those horrid memories came flooding back, overlapping with the helplessness I felt in that moment, just like when she was taken from me to Celestia, and when I fell and became a demon.
天界の上に生
Angel
まれ
born of
し
the
て
sea of
お前
heaven.
を
The moment her angel ring disappeared, I felt a despair so deep I thought my body was being ripped apart. My other half, the one I wanted to protect forever, was being taken to Celestia. No, no! Please, don't take her. I can't live without her. Even if it means I become the enemy of God of all gods, I can't let that happen. I take her hand in mine. If she has become a god, she'll no longer be herself. Before that can happen, I need to run away with her. Run away and be together forever. Please, I want to be with you.
なんだこの
What
天
are you
使は
doing, Angel?
で
Let go
は
of
天
her.
使に
Angels are not
深
allowed
海
to
の
pass
門の
through the
通過は
gate
許
to
可さ
Celestia
れて
without
いない
permission. Step back. No, I wouldn't let her go. I hate all the gods. If they're going to take her away, then I have no choice but to revolt. She is more important to me than the gods or all the worlds.
マーキュリー
Mercury,
二人は
they are a
対の
pair
天
after
使
all.
だ
Taking only one
い
is.
や深海の掟を
You
知ら
know
な
the
いとは
ancient
言わ
rules
せ
of
ん
Celestia as well as I
神に
do.
背きし天
Any
使に
angel
は
that
罰
rebels
を
against the gods
はるか昔か
must
ら
face
定められし
retribution.
だが
But
天界の上生まれの
angels
男の
born
天
of the
使よ
sea of heaven, you have
これ
rebelled,
は
and the gods
神
have
の決定
declared that
だ
you must be punished. He grabbed my wing and ripped it off. One of my wings was taken. She looked like she was about to cry. I can't let her go. If I abandon her now, I'll never be able to forgive myself. Stop it! Stop it! Stop! I felt one of the gods tap me on the shoulder. Suddenly, I'm shoved from heaven and fell into the ground. She's calling out to me, but I can no longer see the heavens. I can't see her, all because I let go of her hand. I try as hard as I can to flap my one good wing, but I can no longer ascend. I'm no longer an angel. An angel with one wing can't possibly fly alone. An angel that rebels gets banished. I would have been willing to go anywhere with you, but now I'm alone. Now I'm all alone. I've lost my ability to fly. Everything is playing out just like it did before. I cry out without a sound as I fall. Why am I repeating the same thing over again? Am I destined to lose her again? Desperately reaching up, I take flight once again, setting my sights for Celestia. Jupiter's wounds hurt so much I feel like I'm on fire, and blood is gushing out of my body. But if I don't try now, will I ever get another chance? I'm a fallen angel, a being that's been a greater demon for 400 years. And what was I doing with that time preparing to see her one more time? I don't want her to disappear. I just want her to be herself.
せっか
She's
くキ
been
ューピッ
chosen
ド
to
様
become the
は
next
ジュノー
Juno. What
様
on
に
earth
選
is her problem? When I remembered what I'd heard them say, my strength started draining out of me again. That's right. If what they said was true, she'd be chosen to become the next Juno. Not a Cupid that could be thrown away, but a constant that would live forever.
そっか
I see. My strength was completely gone. I couldn't get any higher in the sky. Right? That should be fine then. My wish was for her not to disappear. As long as she can live, there's no problem. My eyes filled with tears, so I closed them tight as I fell back towards the earth.
それでも
But my wish that was born from our time together was still burning within my heart. I was born as an angel, fell as a demon, yet in all that time I never once wished for my own happiness. I just wanted her to live.
それでも
But if it was really
許
even
さ
a
れるなら
possibility, I reached out to the sky once
許
again.
される
If
な
I
ら
could somehow be allowed, I want to exist together with you. My tears hung in the air and then disappeared. I'd given in to my selfishness, and my heart hung heavy because of it. If I'd never had that wish, I could have worked to fulfill my purpose. Because I have a wish, I'm suffering now, and I still can't do what I want. Why? I could feel a rotten resentment growing within me. My heart started to fester and bleed. I could feel myself falling towards something even nastier than a demon.
神よ
Gods, why
どう
must
して
you
大
try
切な
and
人
rob
と
me of
共
my
にい
wish
た
to
いと
stay
いう
with the
願
only
いす
person
ら
I've ever really cared for? I can't forgive you. I curse you all. Just as I started to yell out, I felt someone grasp my hand. Alan! It was the one hand I had always longed for. and that voice of the person I wanted to protect. When I opened my eyes, I saw Katie right there in front of me. Alan! I just fled from heaven, and as I was heading for the human realm, I saw Alan following from the sky. I grabbed his hand. Slowly, he opened his eyes. His eyes opened wide as if he was seeing something he couldn't believe. What are you doing here? Alan, I'm so sorry I forgot about you. I remember everything now. You were my other angel half. You remember. The rest of his words were muffled by his sobs. Oh, no. Right there in the middle of the sky, Alan held me tight. I held him back, grasping his wide back as hard as I could. His injured body started shaking. Sorry I'm so late. No. And I'm sorry it took me so long to remember. No, it's okay, just as long as you're safe. With tears running down his face, he gripped me even tighter. All I wanted to do was comfort him, so I stroked his back over and over again. Then I wrapped him up in the outfit I was wearing, in the hope that it would help heal his wounds. I was still wearing Lady Juno's divine artifact, a wedding dress. Oh, what? I don't get a picture of this either. So lame. Using Cupid's bow would make me disappear, but I had a feeling that using the dress wouldn't be a problem. Divine artifacts belong to the 12 gods that control all things were different from my own. They had the power to change the logic of the world. Besides, he was once an angel himself. So healing him and taking him back to the heavens, that was something I felt like I could do. I held onto his body tightly as we fell. Alan, if I said that you and I could both turn back into angels, what would you say? What? As he whispered that, his eyes grew wide. A being like me who fell into the world of demons, I could go back to heaven? That's right, if I wrap you up in this, you won't disappear. Don't you want to see that world again? Alan looked up at the sky as if searching for the divine soldiers that might be pursuing us. But his expression made his true desires perfectly clear. For 400 years, he's been separated from his home, a home to which he couldn't return after becoming a demon. His eyes said it all. He wanted to see it. He wanted to see it all one more time. I understood exactly how I felt, so I smiled at him to ease his troubled heart. Don't worry, the divine soldiers aren't in heaven right now. I can tell thanks to this divine artifact. Alan, just tell me honestly, do you want to see it again? I looked deep into his eyes. He smiled through the pain I knew he was feeling. I do. I want to gaze upon the world with you one more time. And so we went to heaven together. Just as I told him, the divine soldiers were nowhere to be seen in the same peaceful heaven I remembered. It's been so long. Wrapped in Juno's divine artifact, Ellen watched the angels. We were here together once, so long ago. Yeah, we had so much fun then, didn't we? No worries to trouble our thoughts. The only thing I had to think about was you. Alan looked at me and laughed softly. Well, my prediction about being Cupid and Psyche was totally wrong. You were such a little troublemaker back then. You know that? Even without voices, you were always trying to make me laugh. That's true, and even then, you were so kind to me. You couldn't speak a word, but you still wanted to make me smile. You did that too. You could tell how easily I got depressed, so you were always worried about me. You were the person who always wanted to see me laugh, and that made me want to protect you even more. We held each other's hand and stared into one another's eyes like mirrors, just like we used to. We felt like we were the only two souls in the world. That's the only things our eyes could see were each other. Alan, I love you. He's so freaking cute. So I'm assuming he used to be blonde then, and when he fell, like all his colors changed. I've loved you since long before I was struck with Cupid's arrow. Ever since those days were spent together in heaven. And then you were so kind to me during those 30 days we were lovers. And of course, when I was reincarnated after that. Alan, I love you. I want to be with you forever. Alan looked at me and laughed, so clearly in pain. Then he looked out at the angels.
ここにいた
Last
頃
time I was here, I had no idea
俺
what
は
this
この
emotion
感情
was.
が君へ
I
抱く
always
この
wondered
感
what you
情の
might
名
call
前
it.
は
Even without language, I
一
couldn't
体
help
何な
but
んだ
think
ろうっ
about
て
that.
愛なのか
Was it love, friendship,
恋な
fondness,
のか
affection, devotion?
家族を
I
知らな
didn't
かったか
know
ら
what family was. So at
こ
one
れが
point, I thought it must be the
人間でいう
familial
ところ
love that
の
humans were
家
always
族
talking
愛
about.
いくら考
But
え
no
ても
matter how
わか
much
ら
I
なかっ
thought,
た
I
けれど
couldn't figure it out. I just knew that you were the most
世界
important thing
で
in the world
一
to
番
me.
君がだから
That's why I eventually
神
became
に
a
なった
demon and
君
came
を追い
after
かけ
you. He laughed wearily, then looked down at his body. Even when I became a demon, all I could think
打
about
点
was
して
you, about
こ
ways
ん
to
な
get you
体にな
back.
ってそれで
Once I learned that
キュー
Cupid
ピッドが
will
消滅す
disappear,
ると
all I
知って
wanted
から
was to
は
stop that from happening.
ただ
I
消
didn't
滅から
even need
守
us
り
to
た
be
いっ
together
て思
again. When he said that last part, a dark look crossed his face.
でも
But now I'm truly understand. I love you. I love you so much. Alan,
俺は
I love
男
you
として
as a man loves a woman. Wow. I mean, I'm not wowing the fact that he's saying it. I'm just sad that it had to go, like, it had to happen this way. He tentatively reached out for me, but just before he touched me, he clutched his hand into a
Demo.
fist. But that's why we can't be together. He bitterly lowered his hand. Why?
愛する女
The
性
last thing I
を
want is for the woman I love to be
俺は
unhappy.
俺は打点
I'm
し
a
たんだ
demon, and the horrible things I've done because of that.
上級悪魔になるっ
Being
て
a
い
greater
うのは
demon is proof that you used and
それ
abused
だけ人
humans,
間を
that
利用
you've
し
sinned.
罪人を導く
If
のが
it's
神
the
の
God's
使命
duty
な
to
ら
guide man, then it's our duty
悪魔
to
は
corrupt him.
人を
That's
堕
the
落
kind of
させる
creature
の
I've
がし
become.
俺は
I'm such a filthy creature
神
that
を
I've cursed
呪
the
う
gods
ほど
themselves.
汚
I
い切っ
can't
て
even
しまっ
tell
た
you the kinds of sins I've committed. He looked at me with guarded eyes, then looked at the other angels. It was as if he was longing for something he could never obtain.
ここにいる天使た
I
ちと
don't
は
look
も
anything like
う
these
似
other
ても似
angels
つかない
anymore.
姿になっているんだ
I'm not the angel you once knew.
君が好きだと
That
言って
person
くれ
you
た
say
俺
you
は
love, he doesn't exist anymore. Alan turned his head away from me. Still, I saw the pain and loneliness in his eyes, incapable of hiding his true self. Despite that, he still tries. So I puffed out my cheeks the way I did when I was an angel. You think I didn't know you've done things? I was an advisor at Cupid Corp after all. The thieving parasite, a literal demon responsible for driving away so many of our members.
君が知ってる
You've
の
only
なん
seen
て
the
些
tip of
細
the
な罪だ
iceberg. If you knew the kinds of sins I've committed,
君
you
が
would
軽蔑するぐ
despise
ら
me
い
forever.
例えば
For one thing, he tried to confess to sin, but his lips just started to tremble. He didn't say anything. Instead, he started sobbing silently and turned his head to the side.
言えない
I can't. I don't want to say what I've done.
それぐらい
That's how tainted I am. That's
俺
why
の
I
身は
can't. Whatever you've done, you haven't lost your sense of guilt, right? When I point that out, his whole body starts to tremble. It would have been so easy for you to just let go of your guilt and truly embrace your demon nature, but you didn't. Kind and a little naive, you haven't changed one bit since we were in heaven. Plenty of humans curse the gods all the time. You think that's really all that bad? Plus, you always treat me well. You always put me before yourself. Maybe you've done some bad things, but who you are hasn't changed.
そんなはず
That's
は
not. You've spent all this time wanting what's best for me, right? That's all the proof that I needed. When I pointed that out, he let out a little gasp. I don't need any more reason than that to love you. And I do love you, Alan. Whatever you've done, whatever's happened, the person you are is the person I love. How can you?
どうし
He sighed and laughed at the same time and pressed his fingers into his eyes. You must understand, right? The desire to
君だっ
keep
て
that
わ
thing
か
you
るだ
love
ろう
clean. And who decides who's clean? I don't think you're dirty, Alan. Maybe you've sinned, but your soul is noble and pure.
でも
But I. His shoulders were trembling and he was breathing heavy. He's the same as always, a little childish, a little stubborn. And as his other half, all I need to do. Wait, bleh. As his other half, I need to be with him. Alan, I love you. This time he didn't refuse my hands.
一緒にいた
Is
い
it
と
really okay for me to want to be with you? Of course, we're together as one. We're always have been. I know you haven't forgotten that.
忘れられる
No, I
はずが
haven't.
な
I
い
couldn't. That's what caused all this pain. I
バ
knew
カ
I
だ
was
って
stupid,
思い
but
なが
I
ら
couldn't forget you because you're my other half.
俺は
I love you too. Good, so we love each other. Then let's be together forever. I held his hand and looked into his eyes. He smiled. His smile still had some of that usual troubled look. The same expression he always made when he heard my own crazy wishes.
多分
If you kiss me again, you'll probably become a
次
demon
に
like
俺と
me. That's fine with me. I'm tired of the gods.
打点する
No,
だ
I'm serious. The life of a
悪魔
demon
にな
isn't
る
something you should desire. But you've been living a demon all this time, right? I'm sure I can handle it.
俺は
That's not what I want for you. You're so kind. If you
君
become
に
a
悪魔
demon,
にな
you'll
っ
be
て欲
cursing
しくなか
yourself.
ったから
I've been spending all that time
ま
trying
が
to
な
find
い
a way
方
to
法を
avoid
つっ
that.
ても今は
But still, I want to be with you. Then that's all that matters because I want to be with you too. Alan's afraid of me becoming a demon. He keeps refusing out of kindness. He doesn't want me to start sinning. And because of that compassion, I'm willing to accept anything. He took a deep breath, then looked me straight in the eye as if making sure one last time.
君は
Then you don't want to become an
天使
angel
に
again?
戻り
Not at all, do you? I whispered that to him, and for some reason, it was enough to make him laugh.
俺も
No, not really. I want to be able
も
to
う
hear
戻
your
りたく
voice.
ないな
He laughed again and hugged me tightly. Then together we turned our backs to heaven. We fell and just kept falling. As we fell, we cast off heaven and Celestia. Juno's clothes fluttered in the wind. Falling hand in hand, we gently pressed our lips together. Okay, not quite what I was expecting to happen, but I didn't really know what to expect with this story either. A kiss which represented our vows to the the goddess of marriage, but also a kiss which commemorated my own fall. I could feel my divine powers draining out of those same lips. Like an angel losing their wings, Juno's clothes were abandoning me. I'd fallen and I could no longer exist as a god. The necklace that had never left my neck till now made a small click and fell off my body. The golden arrow and leaden arrow both made their way back up into the sky. Goodbye, Celestia, and goodbye, my former godly self. I no longer have the divine power to guide people into love. But in a way, wasn't that my goal all along? I wanted to show somebody that humans have the power to surpass even the gods. I'll help people get married without using my arrows. If I could do that, then would you admit I'm right? The fight I had with Dad so many years ago, that was the moment that led to me becoming a bridal advisor and helping people fall in love as a human. There's no reason that still can't be accomplished without help from the gods. All that matters is the desire to bring happiness. It'll be okay as long as I have that. Alan, I love you so much. I love you with all my heart, Katie.
好きだよ
Two angels falling into earth, locked in a kiss that would paint both of our souls. We promised our love to one another in order to gain our freedom. That was sweet and sad, actually. Oh, that's it. Oh, okay. I thought I had more time. Oh, more stuff to do. Well, we'll wait and we'll watch the epilogue. Love song for fallen angels. Several weeks have passed since we fell. Thank you very much.
またのお越し
Please
を
come
お待
again.
ちして
Now we're helping out customers together at our pillow shop. This just feels wrong. This doesn't feel like a happy ending. After I fell, we came to the human realm and decided to do the pillow shop thing together. I figured it was a good idea since I'd become a demon myself. The human version and a god version of myself has disappeared. I decided not to go back to college or back to my job at Cupid Corp. Instead, I just want to spend all my time with Alan. Besides, if I went back to Cupid Corp, I'm sure I'd run into someone I know. If I run into Mr. Snail, he'd definitely be surprised to see me looking so young. After all, it's been 20 long years since I vanished. Whew, sales were good today.
ああ
True, thanks to
君
you,
が
we've
い
had
て
a
くれ
huge
るおかげ
increase
で
in male
男性
customers.
客も増え
I
たし
wonder
な
why. He touched my cheek and gave me a kiss. We're demons now, so we can kiss and make love as much as we want. Needless to say, we've been making the most of our time together. I don't know, I'm just treating everyone the way I normally would. Yeah,
分
I
かってるよ
know. That just means you're still
君は
just
た
a
だの
demon
小悪
newbie.
魔なんだってことはさ
He chuckled and tapped my tiny tail. That's right. Ever since I stopped being Cupid, I started growing a little demon down. Sorry, I was not expecting that. I was curious to find out what kind of demon I'd become, So I went to the underworld, but it turned out I hardly changed at all. I still need to eat and sleep, and I don't need to feed on dreams or souls. I'm a demon for sure, but I'm also like a human. Honestly, it's pretty unexpected. I'd prepared myself for the worst.
君と
I'm so happy you
この
get to
店で
work here
働けて
together. This
嬉しい
store
よ
means a lot to me, you know? By the way, I always wondered why you decided to open a pillow store. Alan nodded his head curtly and looked around the store.
俺はただ
Actually, I kind of
譲り
inherited this
受け
place
ただ
from
けだよ
someone else. Huh? Inherited?
ここはもともと
An
老
old
婦
lady
人が
used
一
to
人
run
で
this
やってい
place
たん
all
だ
by herself. She was deeply in
彼
love
女
with her
は
husband, who
亡
passed
くなった
away.
彼女の夢は
Her dreams were
優
filled with
しい
kindness.
頼りに
My
満ちてい
demonic
た
work was exhausting,
旦
and I
那と
loved
の馴れ
hearing
初め
about
とか
her
聞け
time
る
with
の
him.
に騙したり
I was so sick of
裏
lying
切っ
and
たりして
cheating, working
夢を
at a
食べ
pillow
るの
shop
は
meant I could
も
feed
う
without
無ざ
having
りだ
to
っ
do all
た
that, right?
それで手
So
伝
I
ったり
kept
してるうちに
helping out here, and we
仲良く
became
なって
very
さ
close. Eventually, she decided to
こ
give
の店
me
を
the
任
shop.
せてくれる悪魔の俺が
She
それな
showed
りに
me
まっとうに
a
生き
way
る
that
道
I
を見
could
せて
live
くれたの
normally
が
and
この
show
店
my
の
things
元
I
オ
want
ー
to
ナーだ
always look after
だか
this
ら俺は
store. I see. The owner must be looking down on us from the heavens with a smile to hear you say that.
あいや
Oh no,
彼
she's
女
still very
はま
much
だ生きて
alive.
るよ
She is? It's only natural to assume the owner must have died because based on his history. Well, since this first, Alan just shrugged.
今は確か
Last I heard, she
ルワ
was
ンダにいる
in
んだよな
Rwanda. She loves to travel.
旅
She
行が
wants
趣
to
味でさ
visit every single country before
死
she
ぬ
dies.
定期的に連
We
絡を
talked
取る
once
け
in a
ど
while, but actually I haven't
そうい
seen
や
her in
もう
over 10
10
years.
年
She sounds like a very energetic person,
だろ
right? I'm sure
きっと
you'd like
君
her.
も愛
Actually,
は気に入
you
るけ
kind
ど
of remind me of her. Really?
あ
Really, I'd love for the
あ
two
だ
of
から
you to
君
meet
を
someday.
恋
She's
人
kind
だっ
of
て
the
オーナ
closest
ーに
thing I
紹
have to
介
a
す
mom
る
in
のが
this
楽
world.
しみ
Alan's face softened as he talked about her. Clarice, who raised him when he became a fallen angel, and the owner who helped him out when he was human. He's always surrounded himself with kindness. I'm sure it's because he held onto his warm, caring heart even after he fell. Then we need to make this door an even bigger success so we can surprise her whenever she comes back.
あ
Yeah,
あそうだな
definitely.
You know
And
what, Kimi
now
Morushi.
that you're here with me, I'm sure we can.
すみません
Hello? Is the store here that
Koi
sells
musume ga
matchmaking
makura-
pillows? The door opened and a new customer stepped through.
ああそうだよ
The one and only, how can we help you today?
実は
Well, there is a certain
私の
guy
好
that
き
I
な
like,
人が
but
多
I'm
く
so
て
shy
ね
I'm having trouble
なか
confessing
な
my
か
love to him.
OK
Understood. Katie, would you mind
じゃ
helping
あ
her
ま
out? It would be my pleasure. I unleashed my demonic power and took a good look at the customer. Actually, when I went from Cupid to a demon, I gained an ability. I'm able to see if a person's romantic desire will come true. Basically, a pillow luxury has become a kind of pillow store slash fortune teller. That's a little weird, but okay. Wasn't there another demon that could do something similar? Bulfer, I think it was called. I'd looked up info about the demons earlier, and it mentioned a demon that helps facilitate matchmaking between men and women. It sounds a lot like Cupid, even though it's a demon. Maybe it was another Cupid that fell and became a demon. So I don't see any problem with it becoming a demon too. Man, my hunch was completely wrong. I'm kind of bummed about it. A former Cupid doing matchmaking and a former angel becoming an incubus and selling pillows. It seems fine to me. Seems a little weird to me, but you know, whatever. I can see it clearly. Your love is going to work out, no doubt. Really?
本当ですか
I'm sure of it, but the key is that you'll have to confess your love to him. Oh, so he won't confess to me? I'm afraid not, but the person you like really is in love with you, so I'm sure you'll be
あ
fine.
ー
I was hoping he'd confess
Nemo-
his love to me. Well, if that's really important to you, try giving him this pillow. He'll confess his love to you the next day, guaranteed.
本当ですか
For real?
じゃあこの
Then I'm definitely gonna buy
お
it.
買い上げありが
Thank
とうござ
you
いま
for
す
coming. I let Alan handle the pillow from there while I gazed at the pillow. Part of the matchmaking demon power is to be able to pull the spell on things. If someone uses this pillow, I can control their dreams. Actually, I learned about it from Alan. He's been a greater demon for so long, he's learned all kinds of little tricks. That's a little weird. He who sleeps with this pillow, I beseech you to confess your love to your friend. May you find success and happiness. Okay, that should do it. As long as she actually gives it to the person she loves, I'm 100% sure everything will be okay. This is how Pillow Luxuria has recently earned its reputation as the matchmaking pillow store. Thank you again. I'll let you know how it all turns out. Great, we'll be waiting.
お
Whew.
疲れ
Are you feeling okay? Oh, yeah.
でも
You look pretty
疲れた
tired,
顔
though.
して
Come
るな
here. Let me give you some of my strength. Alan pulled me close and kissed me. His power flowed into me through his lips and his tongue. I could feel myself getting warmer and brighter. Greater demons really are amazing. The same kiss that took away my powers as a god was now giving me all the strength I needed. Thank you, Alan. Even as I said that, he brought his face close to mine again.
まずいな。
I just don't know what to do. Hmm?
君が可愛
You're
す
just
ぎ
so
た。
cute. I need you right now. Whispering, oh sweet and low, he pushed me back against the counter. Hey, the store isn't closed yet.
じゃあもう閉
Oh,
店に
I
す
can
るよ。
take care of that right now. Alan waved his hand and the door closed and locked itself. The sign flipped from open to close. Like I said, critter demons really are amazing. It seems like demons really can do anything. I'm having a hard time telling the difference between them and gods. Actually, I've been wondering about that for a while. It seems like gods and demons are basically the same thing. We covered the concept in college too. As major religions emerged, the gods of other ethnic groups were treated as demons. Maybe that's all this is. Gods and demons are both born from angels, so maybe there really isn't a meaningful difference. I became Cupid, Alan became an incubus, but now here we are, both demons. I seriously was hungry. I could feel my stomach starting to growl. I might be a demon, but I still have to eat. I gave Alan an angry glare and he finally let me go.
そうだった。
Oh, that's right. You still have to eat
君
like a
は
human, huh? He gave another one of his teasing chuckles. He pretended like he forgot, but we both know he didn't. What a terrible demon.
じゃ
Okay,
今
then let
作っ
me
てく
cook
る
you
よ。
something. You just stay
君
right here. Tease. He patted my head, then made his way to the kitchen, just like he did when we were a couple for those 30 days. But that big difference is now we're actually a true couple. I'm so filled with joy right now. I laid in bed and just watched Alan working in the kitchen. Obviously, since he's only he only needs to feed on dreams, he was only making enough food for me. I just realized, I'm going to dream about what we just did too. Imagining what my dreams might look like tonight, my face started to grow hot. Even now, Alan still feasted on my dreams. Since I used to be Cupid, my dreams still tasted sweet even after turning into a demon. Maybe it's because we used to be a matched pair of angels that we match so well now. Anyway, he doesn't have to feed on customers anymore. My dreams seem to be enough for him. So he cooked food for me, and I provided him a meal in return. I'm happy with our arrangement, of course, but I get so nervous, both in dreams and in real life, that it's kind of hard. In, in dream or in reality, Alan is the one I love, so I'm sure he'll desire me forever and ever. And even when I sleep, I still feel like I don't get any rest at all. Still, I'm glad because I got to become a demon like him. Freaking weirdo. A savory smell wafted in from the kitchen. Alan's cooking has already improved so much from before. Lately, he's been making all of my favorite meals. So I guess it's okay. He can feed on me as much as he wants. Maybe this is my chance to teach him the real difference between sweet and sour. But the dreams I been have been pretty hard lately. Alan's been showing me all these places I can't go in real life. Yesterday he took me deep underwater, and the day before that we were up in the clouds. If he keeps talking about how sweet and amazing everything is, that's just gonna make things even harder. I might get too nervous and my heart might just explode. Learning about what your lover likes when it comes but even from an incubus, taking time to prepare your meal and get the right flavor must be important too. Okay, then I'll forget the whole sweet versus sour thing for
お
now.
待たせ。ご飯。
Okay, I got dressed and walked over to the table. He made me a huge steak. Yay, that's exactly what I was in the mood for.
だろうなって
I
思っ
figured
て
as
さ。
much. You mentioned it earlier. I
デ
did?
ートした時に言
During
っ
our
てた
date,
だろ。
remember you said you wanted
ハンバ
hamburgers,
ーガーにフライ
fried
ドチ
chicken,
キ
and
ン。
steak. Like hamburgers or fried chicken or nice thick steak. Sounds good too, don't you think? He wasn't wrong. That definitely did happen. But that was over 20 years ago. And he still remembered. A lover who remembers every little thing and makes all my dreams come true. As I enjoyed my steak, I thought about the fact that we'd be together forever, and that made me even happier. A few days later, Pillow Lecture was closed for the day, so we headed to Skirt Beach. We'd been talking, and we both decided we wanted to go again. Go snorkeling. so beautiful here.
うん
It sure is. Hand in hand, we walked down to the beach. The beach at sunset. I miss this.
あ
Yeah, it looks a lot like heaven,
展
doesn't
開
it?
によく似てるもん
Yeah. It brings back a lot of memories. The place where Alan and I were born and lived for so long since we can never go back. My memories are bittersweet.
君は本当
You
に
loved that
あ
place.
そこが
You'd
好き
look
だっ
up
たよ
into
ね
the sky as if thinking, today's even more
毎
beautiful
日
than
空を見
yesterday.
上げて
What? How did you know what I was thinking?
君の顔は
It
分
was
か
so
りやすい
obvious.
から
One
当
time
然
you
だろ
even fell over because you were
それで
so
ほら空に見とれす
entranced
ぎ
by
て
the
これ
sky. Don't remind me.
君のことは
I
全
remember
部
everything
覚えてる
about
よ
you, including that time you
君
pulled
が
one of my feathers out.
俺の
What? I seriously did that?
あったよ
Yeah, you
俺の羽
wore
を頭に
it
刺して
like one
人
of
間
those
界的に言うと
headdresses
イ
from
ン
the
ディアンごっ
heavenly
こかな
human realm.
そん
Makes it sound like I was a total airhead back then. Still, we couldn't talk, so I was probably just trying to my best to communicate. I wanted to make him laugh and share my happiness with him. I do remember trying really hard.
懐かしいな
It really takes me
あの
back.
頃
I
は
guess I
毎
was
日
trying my
君を
hardest
喜ばせ
to
ようっ
make you
て
happy
必
back
死に
then.
それで君
But
があれ
when
やりたい
you
っ
made
て
a face
顔
that
した
told
時
me you
に
wanted to do
俺
that,
は手を尽くして
I
叶
did
えよう
everything I
っ
could
て
to
思っ
make
た
your
ん
wish
だ
come true. That?
結婚式ごっこ
Having
だよ
a pretend wedding. A pretend wedding, that was my favorite game to play back when we were in heaven. Alan grabbed my hand and started running.
だからさ
So listen, let's have
今日
another
も
pretend
久しぶ
wedding
りに
today. Okay. I was so happy to see his innocent face. I couldn't resist putting on a wedding with him again for the first time in forever. Just like we used to back in heaven. As an angel, I had insisted that current Cupid. I had assisted the current Cupid a few times, so I learned how to take the bride and groom. Abandoning our normal conversation, we started acting out the wedding with gestures alone, holding hands and nodding at each other as if we were making lifelong promises to each other, pretending to lift the veil, then meeting for a gentle kiss. And then the ring made of flowers. Huh? Did he actually get her a ring? He actually got her a ring! When we were in heaven, my ring was always made of flower petals, but now I felt something hard and cool. What was the sensation? Could it be? Alan, what? There was an actual ring on my finger. The gem glittered in the setting
婚
sun.
約指輪
It's a wedding ring. Do you accept? To say that I was surprised would be an understatement. While I stood there stunned, Alan's face opened up into a
ごっ
huge
こ
grin.
じゃなくて
I
さ
want to marry you, not for pretend,
俺と
for real.
君と
I want to be connected to you
夫婦になる
forever. Husband and wife, a ceremony in which two people, once strangers, become family. Blessed by Juno, goddess of marriage. A relationship leading into the future, supported by Cupid, the goddess of
確
love.
約が欲しいん
We
だ
live in the human realm now, so I want a
今
human
俺たちは
commitment.
君を
I want to be
俺
able
の
to
奥
tell
さ
the
んだ
whole
っ
world
て
that you're my wife. Are you sure about this? The fact that I'm not a human, which means I can't receive the god's blessing. Is there any way for me to be forgiven? Could I actually enter into a marriage even though I'm a demon? Alan nodded as if he knew all the questions I wanted to
言っ
ask.
ただろ
I told you already, didn't I? I want to make you
君を
happy as a human being.
それでも
That's true. There's something he told me over and over again. He's the one who yelled and shouted and did everything he could to make me happy. When we spent over a century together, and when we were separated for another 4 centuries, and when I nearly disappeared, and even for those 20 years after I reincarnated, for all this
俺
time,
が打点させちゃ
I
ったから
seduced you into becoming a
それ
demon.
は
So
叶わないけ
maybe
れど
that particular wish couldn't come
君
true.
を幸せに
But
した
my
い
wish
気持
for
ち
you
は
to be
変わら
happy
な
will
い
never
人
change.
間とも
A happiness that's
神
neither
とも
human nor
変わらない
divine.
幸
No,
せを
I don't care what it is. I just want to be you to be
今度は
happy, and I want us to be together from
俺
now
の意
on.
志
Alan, I was so happy to hear him talk about us being together instead of just my
俺
happiness.
こそ
Do you think you'd be
許
okay
し
with
てくれ
that,
る
with us becoming family? Even before he asked me, I already knew my answer. I was already overflowing with tears of joy. Alan, of course. Alan, please let me be your wife, and I would be honored to be
俺を
your husband. This was something I pretended to say no matter so many times in heaven, imagining how I'd say it in real
正
life.
解だったんだ。
So we were both thinking the same thing. I guess so. I held his hands and opened. I held his hand and looked up into the sky. Slowly, I closed my eyes. I felt the soft caress of his lips. This kiss was different from any other. It was sincere and nervous, a completely pure sensation. It lacked all of his natural demonic power. We each touched the rings on our
今
fingers.
度こそ本当
Finally, we
に
can be together forever. You're right. Nothing can take that away. We could keep pretending, repeating our human lives over and over again because we're demons. And demons have no concept of life expectancy. It's possible we might disappear if we somehow use up all our powers, but we have no duties like the gods, so we can just live however we want, which meant we could live even longer than them.
幸せになろ
Let's just be happy together for
う。何
decades,
年も
centuries,
ず
millennia,
っと一緒にい
to
て
be together and become a true family. I want to
本物
keep
の家
doing
族に
everything
なっ
I can
て
to make your wishes come true. And I want to make yours come true too. Because we both want each other to be happy. And because of that, our happiness can go on into
愛
eternity.
しているよ。
Katie, I love you. I love you too, Alan. We whispered our feelings to each other, and he lifted me into the air just like he did when we were in the ocean, just like he did when we were angels. And like when we were angels, he held my hand and kissed it as if it were the first time. When dreams of laughing and loving as if we were back in heaven, we kissed again and prayed to the gods despite our demonic nature. Once upon a time, a certain pure demon found happiness in a rare land. Could we perhaps weave such a myth?
もう二度と
I will never let go of you again, and I'll always hold on to you. Hands that had been separated so many times before came together again, and we kissed, wishing for a bright future. And we promised each other that we'll always be together. Okay, honestly though, like canon end. I'm not happy with everything that happened with it, and I'm bummed that some of my theories were like absolutely wrong, like completely and utterly wrong. But you know what? It's fine. Stuff happens. Um,
マニアか。確かに
that
こんな長い間
that's
君一
canon.
人を追い求めていたら
Okay, I'm gonna be
そう呼ば
taking
れ
a
るだろ
break
うな。
from this game for a bit, and I'm
君
gonna start
も同
playing
じラブタイ
Color.
プってことは
Excuse
俺の気持ち
me.
わかるだろ
I'm gonna start playing Color Times
う。
Malice.
そもそも俺たちは一対だ。
Um,
マイハニ
we're gonna do
もう一生
Inamoto's route first
この手を離さない
on that game. But yeah, so overall though, I had so much fun playing this game. Thank you all so much for sticking around. I thought we would have one more part after part 11, but part 11 is the last. So as always, remember to eat some food, get some sleep, and drink some water because you are important, and so is your health. I'll see you in the next episode. Bye bye!